Hi guys, back again. Um, uh, some people, there's been a few videos lately uh, on YouTube talking about photo etch, and I know Darren Shank, he's building a Hobby Boss Merkava that has some photo etch in it, and he's saying it's his first time using photo etch, and he was asking some questions from the community, and see a few other people talking about photo etch and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd throw my hat in the ring from looking at it from a perspective. I've used photo etch before, but I'm truly a beginner. I have very little experience with it, but I do have a little bit of experience. You can see here on this Stug, you can see here by my fingers a small photo etch part here, some grills and stuff there. The top hull of the Stug, you can see some photo etch here on this bracket. So I have a little bit of experience, but like I said, not much. I'm still at the very early stages of learning how to deal with it. But one thing, over the little bit of time that I have been doing it, I found it a good idea to kind of, according as I'm learning what tools to use with it, I kind of keep them all together in this tub here. So that one thing I find with photo etch is when you sit down to do it, I mean, it's not difficult, but it takes a lot of patience. So myself, when I sit down to do it, I like to have everything that I'm going to be using at hand, just because parts are quite small. If you start getting up and trying to find stuff, it's very easy to lose things. So I keep everything in this little tub here that I use for photo etch. So I'll just show you some of the tools that I use. None of these tools I wouldn't say are, some of them are, I would say, essential tools to have, but some of them you can do without. One thing I think you do need are a set of these small needle files, just for filing and cleaning off, particularly the connection points where you cut it off the fret. So usually a flat one will do, but I have one here with a pointed one, and I have one here with a half round as well that I find pretty handy. Needle nose pliers as well. These have very small serrations on them, so I don't like to use these too much because the photo etch is, it's very delicate, very easy to damage. So I don't like to use these a whole lot, but they're pretty good if you want to get into like a tight area or something and just grabbing it by the tip. I find them okay. And these are just some cutters that I use sometimes to cut off parts. I don't use these a whole lot, but I keep them handy just in case. Another thing I like to use are these forceps. These are pretty smooth, so these are great if you're trying to reach into an area. You can just clamp it, and then you can more easily handle it. You don't have to worry about the piece falling out as you're trying to fit it in. So I find these pretty handy, and I have a couple of different ones. You see, these are bent. These are pliers. Another set here. These are smooth jawed pliers. These are put out by Metal Earth, which is all Metal Earth does is photo etched models. So these are specific for photo etch. Same with these. These are also from Metal Earth. These are snips for, again, cutting. A lot of different tweezers, of course. Again, these are some precision tweezers. These have flat ends that are bent. These are some scissors, curved scissors that I use sometimes to cut pieces from the frets. And these are another pair of straight scissors. And this is a set of razor blades. Again, these are used just to cut parts from the frets. This is a set of, these are Tamiya photo etch bending pliers. They're basically just smooth jawed pliers, but like everything, you know, you have a $2 set of tweezers, and as soon as some company decides to call them hobby tweezers, they're now $30. And these pliers are the exact same way. They're $3 set of pliers, but since Tamiya call them photo etch pliers, they're about 20 bucks. So yeah, don't get ripped off on buying these. Basically what I'm saying, just a normal pair of smooth jawed pliers is plenty good. The rest of this stuff I just use when you're bending pieces. It's good to have different diameter pieces to use as a bending guide. I'm planning to buy a set of step mandrels as well, but it can be anything. This is an old paintbrush handle. You know, this is a small hobby hammer that has this round section here. You know, smaller screwdriver, flat end on it. You know, pieces of dowel, pieces of acrylic rod, a marker, pen, anything will do for that. So yeah, so one thing to keep in mind when you're putting together your photo etch toolkit, I'll call it, is you know, you don't need to go out and buy what the hobby companies brand as photo etch specific tools. You know, just the way I do it is when I find something that works, I take it and I throw it in here. You know, even something like this. This is an old tip from some acrylic putty. You know, this is good for bending cone shapes and stuff like that. So basically, you can build your kit out of your tool kit out of anything. One other thing, though, just let me mention, guys. Sorry. One thing you do need is something that's flat and hard for cutting your stuff on. You don't want to use something like a cutting mat to cut your parts off the fret. You need something hard. I use this. This is an old cutting board that I bought at the dollar store. It's textured on this side, but on this side it's smooth. So this is what I use to cut my parts off the fret. And so like I said, you know, photo etch, I know myself, I found it a bit intimidating before I started actually working with it. And it is pretty finicky, and it does take patience, and you do have to be careful. It's, in my opinion, it's very unforgiving. If you damage a part or you bend a part incorrectly or something, the part is basically ruined. It's very hard to save a part once you've started working with it. So, you know, just take your time and have some patience with it, and just be careful what you're doing, and you should have no problems. So anyways, guys, that's my take on getting started working with photo etch. I think as we all continue on with our building and starting advanced building, and you're buying more higher difficulty kits and, you know, higher parts counts, more detail, you're eventually going to run into photo etch. So, you know, it's just something, it's just another part of modeling that eventually, you know, most of us are going to encounter at some point. So, so anyways, that's just my feeling on how I've been working with photo etch myself. Like everything else, it's a learning curve. You can't expect to, you know, do a perfect job your first time out. Probably take you a few kicks at the cat, as it were, to get things going right. So anyways, guys, I hope this was helpful and some useful information here for somebody. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.